Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Black, once again, lined up behind Nowakowski. They hand it off to the fullback / tight end, and he powers in. Touchdown, Indiana. A dominant start here for the number 1 team. Fletcher breaks free. Mark Fletcher in the foot race. Miami touchdown. And just like that, Miami's bell cow back changes around this championship game. So Dylan Joyce back on. Blocked! Indiana blocks the punt and falls on it for a touchdown! Isaiah Jones on the recovery. 7 offensive linemen in there. 7 O-linemen and a tight end. Fletcher walks in. Miami touchdown. What a response. Got to get to the 8. He's going to take off and run. Mendoza weaves his way first and goal. Diving toward the end zone. Touchdown! That's why he won the Heisman Trophy. He's got it on the pitch. Tony breaks free. Malachi Tony spinning, scoring! Is there a more exciting player in this sport? Beck steps up, delivers downfield, intercepted! Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship. A century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome into another episode of Sports Day. My name is Brant Daughtry. I'm the host of this program. Landon Winkler is over there in the corner. He is running the video feed and the camera. Sports Day today is brought to you presented to you by Barton Community College, offering exceptional and affordable learning opportunities, supporting student, community, and employee needs. Your sounds of the past 24 hours. Well, you just heard the first half of it. We're going to play a little bit more for you in just a minute, but want to go over this. The College Football Playoff National Championship finishes in the final game of the college football season. Indiana, the number 1 team for much of the year, the number 1 seed in the playoff, defeats Miami 27-21 in just a fantastic back-and-forth game. We saw a blocked punt. We saw some incredible individual plays. We saw the play of the year from Fernando Mendoza on 4th and 5, rushing for it, has to change direction, gets the first down, stays up through contact, dives into the end zone, takes the hit in the back, and still manages to get in there. Just an incredible, incredible moment for the University of Indiana University. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like a KU, University of Kansas thing. Either way, a school that has had a lot of basketball history has had no football history to speak of. I mentioned it earlier this week on the show, more losses than any other team in major college football over their history. They finally win one. Curt Cignetti manufactures a national championship winning squad in Bloomington, Indiana. To show you how dismal the history of Indiana football is, Indiana football started in 1899, right around the turn of the 20th century. Indiana has their very first football season. In their program's history, they had won 3 bowl games ever. The dates on those were 1979, 1988, and 1991. Those were the only 3 bowl wins in Indiana football's history coming into this season. This year, they won bowl games on January 1st, January 9th, and January 19th. Indiana, in this playoff run alone, has doubled their number of bowl wins in their school's history, if we're counting these playoff games as bowls, which we are. Also, need to talk about Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes. Carson Beck, an incredible college career, even if at times he was lackluster. To illustrate how lackluster he was, here's a stat that's fun. Reading this off of Twitter, Carson Beck lost 6 games in his entire college career. He was a starter for, I think, 4 years in college, lost 6 games. In 4 of those 6 losses, the final offensive play for the team he was leading was a Beck interception with a chance to win the game. That's Carson Beck's legacy in college football. As fantastic as it was, as many wins as it included, Carson Beck will be remembered for losing 4 games in which the last offensive play that his team had was him throwing an interception with a chance to win the game. Carson Beck finishes with 19 completions on 32 attempts, 232 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Mark Fletcher Jr., fantastic running back for Miami, had a really good game himself, 17 carries, 112 yards, 2 scores, including the 57-yarder to really get Miami going in that game. They had nothing going in the first half, halftime score of 10-0. And coming into the second half, Miami desperately needed something. They got it from Mark Fletcher. He finishes with he opens up the scoring in the third quarter with a 57-yard run to get Miami back into it. It was awesome. Malachi Toney also with an incredible day, 10 catches, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. Most exciting freshman, I think, in college football this year. He was special, and he's going to continue being special wherever he goes for the next 2 years, because that dude's not going to be in college football very long. Let's talk about the winners, though. Fernando Mendoza, problems with efficiency in this game, and that's because Miami got after him. I spoke about it at length. Miami had the front 4, the front 7 to get after Fernando Mendoza, make him uncomfortable, and they did. Mendoza finishes 16 of 27, 186 yards. That is an okay day. It's certainly not great. He had great coming into today. But the thing that people are going to remember from Fernando Mendoza in this game is that draw on 4th and 5. Got the first down, but decided to stay up, fought through some hard contact, maintained his balance, saw how close he was to the end zone, dove in, took the hit, and managed to hold on to the football, got into the end zone. And that ended up being the winning score for Indiana, and they needed it. They kick a field goal towards the end, and then obviously the Carson Beck interception to end the game. Just a wild moment. Also had a blocked punt in this game. Indiana forcing Miami deep. They forced the 3-and-out, and then the blocked punt. Indiana falls on it. They win the third phases. They win the third of the 3 phases, and it ends up being the difference maker in this game. Miami outgained Indiana in this game, 342 yards to 317. That's pretty good output for both of these offenses. More passing yards for Miami. Indiana with more rushing yards by 20. Miami with more yards per play. Just overall, it was that it was an extremely tight game, and at the end, it came down to Indiana just made the bigger plays, and that's really all you want in a national title game. Congratulations, Indiana, Curt Cignetti. I hope everybody was watching that game last night. It ended kind of late, but it was so fun. There was something else that happened on our airwaves last night. You could hear that game right here on 1590 KBGB, 95.5 FM. Good night. I don't know what just happened to me. Anyway, there was something else happening over on Hits 106.9. Tell me about it, Gary Wagner.
They'll bring it across half court with 6 to play. 3, 2, Gonzalez missed it. Tip. Good. Green with the tip in. The Indians win it. I didn't think there was enough time for Gonzalez to get the shot off. He missed it, but Green off the carom, jumps up, tips it in, never came down to the floor, and The Indians win it by 2, 41-39.
Yeah, it's Gary Wagner on the call over on Hits 106.9. The Larned Indians. Kyler Green with the tip in at the buzzer to give Larned a win over Inman in the Midwinter Classic in St. John. Had those first matchups for you yesterday. Inman on the girls' side beat Maxville 61-32. Larned beat Inman 41-39 on the boys' side. As you just heard, that was the buzzer beater. Larned's girls continue to roll 51-18 over Cimarron. And it was a bad day for Cimarron. Little Rivers boys also beat Cimarron 55-44. It was a tough day for the Beavers. But really good showing for Larned to go 2-0 in that game. They'll continue later in the week. We also had over on 100.7 Eagle Country, we had the opener of the Winter Jam tournament over at the Hoisington Activity Center. Pratt on the boys' side, Pratt beat Minneapolis 71-25. I was on the call of that one. Really fun game. Victoria's boys beat Ellenwood. The only really close game of the day. Victoria 60, Ellenwood 52. Caden Sanders had your call there. On the girls' bracket, Ellenwood got the day started with a 54-33 win over Pratt. Randy Gehring was on the play-by-play for that matchup. And I believe this was the nightcap, actually. Minneapolis and Victoria. Minneapolis on the girls' side beats Victoria 57-30. That was another game that Caden Sanders had for you. So a really fun couple of games, really interesting Winter Jam tournament. Midwinter Classic up in St. John. Larned gets the win on both their boys and girls' sides. So good things happening in the world of sports around here, and obviously the national title game that took place last night. Hope everybody enjoyed this first segment of the show. Excuse me. Sports Day is brought to you in part by the Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street in Great Bend. Also by Sutherland's, helping you build it better since 1917. From quality lumber, plywood, and OSB to cabinets, plumbing, hardware, and power tools, they have everything you need to get the job done. Visit Sutherland's on 10th Street. Also in part by the Barton Cougar Booster Club, continuing their efforts to make the Barton Community College athletics programs the best in the country. We got to hit our first break. Good show for you today. We'll have Jade Winter, head coach of Great Bend girls basketball, on the other side of this one. Later in the show, we'll talk to Wyatt Thompson, voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. That's coming up with Jade Winter right after this. You're listening to 1590 KVGB at 95.5 FM. This is Sports Day. Hey, Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Sweeney Doors, this is Hadley.
Hadley, what are we going to do today?
You have to work at Sweeney Doors. What if there's another power outage?
You're right, Hadley. People rely on us to be able to get into their houses and businesses. That is why we sell electric operators with battery backups and have been serving the community longer than anyone.
Does that mean you're getting old, Papa?
Not old, experienced.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Looking for a meaningful career where you can make a real difference? Barton Community College's adult healthcare program can get you there fast. Become a certified nurse aide or medication aide with Barton's state-approved training. Whether you're just beginning your education journey or advancing your career, Barton offers flexible schedules, affordable tuition, and hands-on training, giving you the knowledge, skills, and critical thinking necessary to thrive in today's world. Learn more at adulthealthcare.bartonccc.edu.
sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend, or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you, now joined by members of the Great Bend girls basketball team. We've got head coach Jake Winter, also joined by Meredith Mazook and Alex Mayers. Guys, thanks for the time today.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. So last time we spoke, we had kind of an off in the midweek, and you led up to that Hutchinson game. Guys, I just want to get your thoughts on that Hutchinson game, because I know while the final score wasn't what you guys wanted, I know that there were signs of improvement in this game.
Yeah, I definitely think, our first half, we shot the ball well. We played pretty good defense. I would say our defense was probably just as well in the second half. We just didn't put the ball in the bucket as much as we wanted to.
Coach, you mentioned after the game, speaking with Hesh, who just walked out, there's this thought of playing rather than thinking, and you feel like your team was kind of thinking a little bit more in the second half and maybe has been thinking too much to this point in the season. And when you say play without thinking, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it's really just more of like an instinct thing. Hesh kind of mentioned it in the post-game show. Basketball's a game of instinct, and so if you already know what you're going to do before you even realize that you're doing it, it's kind of makes the game flow a little bit better rather than sitting there and having to take a half a second to think, because just having that delay sometimes can cause some problems.
Kind of drilling it and getting used to it, making it more muscle memory than anything. Guys, when you hear that, again, we're joined by Alex Mayers and Meredith Mazook in the studio as well. When you hear kind of play with instinct, what does that mean to you guys?
Well, sometimes we focus too much on this is where the ball needs to go, or this play, this person needs to get the ball, when in reality we really just need to keep moving and keep trying to make it flow. In the end of the day, we just need to get the ball in the hoop. So
yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with our fundamentals, just getting down the basics and letting the game of basketball flow that way instead of going play by play.
My favorite thing that I've ever heard about the sport of basketball is at the end of the day, you have all these different kinds of offenses, different defensive schemes, and there are different ways to score, but at the end of the day, it is about putting the ball in the basket. And that is something that has kind of eluded you guys to this point, and while you're still getting in good spots, how do you get it to where you can finish at the rim?
Yeah, I think, too, we're getting used to playing with each other, and we're learning how, the flow with each other with our posts and the different roles that people have had to step in this year. I think as the season goes on, we're learning each other, learning how to play with each other, and it makes the game flow better.
You guys have Salina South. You're headed to Salina South you'll play the host team on Thursday, right? But the Salina Invitational Tournament, a loaded field up there this weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot of the same teams from last year. Again, we see Salina South for the second time this year, so they're going to be a tough matchup just because they are the number 2 seed. But I think they kind of have a chip on their shoulder a little bit, and so hopefully we can be a little bit more aggressive.
When you play a team for the second time in just a couple of weeks, how is it different? Do you expect the exact same thing? Are you going to change things up? What's the game plan going into this game?
I mean, we kind of expect the same things from them. They like to shoot outside. They like to get Fritz the ball inside. Defensively, we're just going to have to be more aggressive and kind of change things up that way of how we can get out on the shooters a little bit better and how we can prevent Fritz from kind of going off in the paint.
What do you guys remember from that matchup?
They really did. They had a good outside shooters. They got Fritz. I feel like we kind of shut her down, we contained her to our best ability at the time, but I feel like if we can figure out a better game plan for our defense and how we can switch that up more, I feel like that will be really beneficial for us.
And Coach, tell us about the differences in playing 2 games in a week versus playing an entire weekend of basketball, the tournament play and keeping girls fresh, things like that. What changes in the game plan?
It's definitely a lot different because you don't really know who you're playing, so it's hard to scout. You kind of just have to mass scout all the teams that are in the tournament and kind of almost guess who you're going to play, when and where. I know that's hard because anything can go both ways. I mean, wins and losses throughout the course of the season, if we play hard, and other teams don't, then we will come up with some wins. But just practicing on us throughout the week instead of focusing majority on those unknown teams will be really beneficial for us because, I mean, there's only so much that we can contain them to do if we don't do our own job.
Who else is going to be in the field for this tournament? Or do you know who are some of the highlights?
Like team-wise?
Yes.
Well, Andover left, but Wichita East joined this year. They're going to be a tough team. Bueller and Abilene are both in there again this year. They're both similar teams, smaller schools, but they're really aggressive. Junction City's still there. And I don't know who. Oh, Wamego. Wamego's going to be the top seed for the girls. They're pretty sound.
Fair enough. Girls, when you know that you're heading into a weekend where you're going to play, 4 games in 4 days?
Three games.
3 games over that weekend. What is the mentality for you guys? How do you stay fresh during that stretch?
It's definitely, it's pretty hard physically on your body. I mean, usually we go Tuesday and then we have our Wednesday, Thursday break and a Friday game. But when you play 3 games back to back, it's really important to keep your body healthy, what you're eating, sleeping, especially in those hotel rooms. Like, it'll be important that we take care of our bodies so that we can perform to the best of our abilities.
Awesome. Guys, thanks for the time and good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
For the update, that is head coach Jade Winter along with Meredith Mazook and Alex Mayers of Great Bend Girls Basketball joining us here on Sports Day. Big thanks to the girls for coming on the show and, of course, Coach Winter as well. Fantastic. Always a good interview. They haven't had the season that they wanted, but they're always fun to talk to and always give you a little bit of fresh information. So big thanks to them for coming on the show. Yeah, headed over to Salina South. We're still not positive, but we think that I may be on the call for at least one of those games down there in Salina. So up there in Salina, over there in Salina. You know, I don't. I've been there before, once, but either way, I believe it's up there, up and over there. I'll move on. But it's still not positive about that, but it is possible. Those games over on B1043 The Point, and we will have the boys and girls for Great Bend in those contests, and really looking forward to it. I haven't called a Great Bend game yet, and, not in basketball. I called a couple of softball games at the end of the year last year when I just moved here, but nothing as far as basketball yet, nothing so far this year. So that would be a really fun time if it did fall in that particular way. Sports Day is brought to you in part by Kern Floor Service. Whether you need a new ceramic, porcelain, or natural stone floors, their knowledgeable and friendly flooring experts are here to help you find the perfect floor for your home decor and budget. Visit the Great Bend showroom at 908 Coolidge to see, touch, and feel the latest styles. Also brought to you in part by Cody Crook of Red Cedar Land Company. Whether you're looking to sell your land or find the right property to buy, Cody takes pride in understanding your goals and making the process as smooth as possible. Call Cody at 620-617-7320 or visit redcedarland.com. That's going to do it for this segment. On the other side of this break, we'll talk with Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. Wyatt, I'll be honest, folks, he is the person that I look forward to talking to most every single week. Getting to connect with him a little bit has been awesome. Super nice dude and very knowledgeable about the world of sports at large. Love talking with him about all things K-State and beyond. And, of course, a really tough season basketball-wise for Kansas State so far. Currently 0-5 in the monstrous Big 12 Conference. The good news for K-State is that they've had an opportunity to win 4 of those games. The bad news is that they haven't won any of them. And they're going to try to get back on the horse tonight against Utah. I'll talk with Wyatt about that game. On the other side of this break, you are listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio here on 1590 KVGB at 95.5 FM.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Marmy Auto Group makes it happen. Central and Western Kansas. Check out our selection of new and pre-owned inventory. Marmy's friendly staff offers top quality service that you've gotten to know over the years. When your existing vehicle needs parts or service, our experienced team will get you back in the game this season. Marmy Chevrolet, GMC, Ford and Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram, parts, service, and body shop. Visit Marmy Auto Group on 10th Street or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time, and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
Needing a healthcare plan for your business? Let the experienced team at Freedom Claims Management Incorporated customize a health insurance plan that fits your needs. Whether you're a large company or a small business on Main Street, FCMI can help you provide employees with great health coverage at an affordable cost. From setup to ongoing support, they handle it all. Schedule your free no-obligation health assessment today at freedomclaimsinc.com. That's Freedom Claims Management Incorporated, with locations in Great Bend, Russell, and Plainville.
Service from people you know, quality products and professional installation. That's Kern Floor Service. Stop by Kern Floor Service and browse through the different selections of flooring from laminate to vinyl, carpet, wood, and ceramic tile. See their selection of area rugs or special order the one that fits your decor, and don't forget, they can spice up those countertops too. So stop by Kern Floor Service today. Kern Floor Service, 908 Coolidge in Great Bend.
Senior Doors, this is Hadley.
Hadley, what are we going to do today?
You have to work at Senior Doors. What if there's another power outage?
You're right, Hadley. People rely on us to be able to get into their houses and businesses. That is why we sell electric operators with battery backups and have been serving the community longer than anyone.
Does that mean you're getting old, Papa?
Not old, experienced.
Garage door service and repair at C&E Doors in Great Bend and Hayes.
Selling your farm or ranch acres can be stressful. At Red Cedar Land Company, they are extremely diverse in the number of ways they can represent you, and they tailor each project to meet their seller's needs. One of the biggest questions for a seller is, what is my land worth? At Red Cedar Land Company, they offer a free market analysis to help you better understand the value of your land. You deserve a better selling experience. Put your trust in Red Cedar Land Company. Call Cody Crook with Red Cedar Land Company at 620-617-7320.
Welcome back into Sports Day. Brant Daughtry here with you, joined now by Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats. Wyatt, we talk to you every Tuesday, and it's always a pleasure, sure. Where are you today?
I am at home. We played tonight against Utah, trying to snap a 5-game start to Big 12 conference play. And then we've got Kansas in here this weekend. So it's kind of nice with playing 3 of the first 5 in the league on the road to be home a couple of times this week. Of course, they make you pay for that by leaving next Monday for Morgantown and playing there on Tuesday. And then come back the following Sunday and you get Iowa State. So,
oh, boy.
Oh, yes, the old Big 12, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've talked about it a ton, and you're right to this point. It feels like K-State's been in a ton of these close games, but they've yet to find a way to get over the hump.
Yeah, and it's been just inconsistent play on a lot of levels. But I think what is consistent is they've not been a very good defensive team. Rebounding has been a major problem. As an example, in league play, they're last in the Big 12 in rebound margin. They are near the bottom of the league in second chance points given up at nearly 20 a game. Those types of things prevent you from winning games. The game in Stillwater is an example last week on Saturday night. You lose a heartbreaker. You're up with just seconds to go. You foul, and they make 3, and then you miss a shot at the buzzer, and it's not a real great shot either. But here are the numbers that everybody should know, and this is life on the road, okay? K-State had a disadvantage of 26-10 in terms of points off turnovers. The fouls were 22-10, so obviously K-State fouled a little bit too much again. And then they finally did out-rebound the team, which was good, but they only get to the free throw line 5 times, and Oklahoma State 24 times. So there you have a lot of ups and downs.
The turnover number is baffling to me, Wyatt, because this is such a guard-dominant team, a team with good ball handlers, and not, you're not trying to ask a 7-footer to drive to the basket. What's causing these turnovers from your perspective?
Probably just a little bit of careless play for the most part. I mean, the turnovers in some of them, they're averaging 12.9, and that's what the opponents are averaging for us. So basically it's a wash. But again, you turn the ball over 16 times in Stillwater, and then if you foul too much, they're getting to the line, and there are two major factors in separating winning from losing, right? I mean, that's it, and it doesn't take much in this league. Most of these teams are pretty even. Yeah, you've got standout teams at the top, no doubt, with like in Arizona, number one team in the country, and they're dusting everybody by 20 points a night for the most part. Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, we're starting to see a little bit of separation from what I would describe as the top part of the league and the bottom part of the league, almost 50-50 split, 8-8. And I've said in interviews today that think about how hard it's going to be for TCU or Baylor or UCF, those types of teams. They're going to be scratching and clawing in this league to not only, move up, but also stay right there and try to be a tournament team. You're probably going to get 8 or 9 in, but man, you got to be in those 8 or 9. You can't afford too many slip-ups.
You talk about the rebounding, and you're right. K-State did out-rebound Oklahoma State for the first time, and what did look different on the rebounding into things to give K-State an edge in that stat?
Honestly, I think I'm not trying to give. I don't want to not give K-State credit when credit is due, but this was more, I think, about, if I'm being honest, Oklahoma State was more of a mid-range kind of team. Not that they can't shoot the threes, but when you look at some of their guys, for the most part, the Victorious Millers of the world, they're going to try to drive and get to the rim. I think that's also true for Kanye Clary and Jalen Curry, those kind of guys. Now, it's not that they don't have some big guys, but even Parsifalo, their big man, and he's an interesting case because he's a 15-point, 6.5 rebound guy. He's more of a mid-range guy. So I think it's more of that than what K-State may have done well there. But their effort was good, and it was nice to see them out-rebound somebody, that's for sure.
Hey, you talk about effort. That was something that head coach Jerome Tang mentioned in the post-game press conference. He thought that the team played with energy, effort, and enthusiasm, and that's something that he said he's been trying to drive in. Do you think that message is resonating with these players?
Do, and that's the thing. I've said in interviews over the last couple of days since the loss in Stillwater, and it was a hard one to swallow, man. The guys were really down. Coach mentioned it with us on postgame that locker room was way down. I can confirm that with how quiet it was on the short plane ride back. And it is hard when you're 0-5 in the league and your expectations were much better than that. But I do think he's right in that the effort has been better. I think they are trying. And it's admirable, I think, when you're down to give that type of an effort. I want to see that again tonight because it's hard to do, to get up when things aren't going well. And the team is, we've been playing a couple of guys short here too, which also matters. So right now, it's been most difficult, but they are battling and fighting as best they can.
It's something that we talked about a little bit during football season, Wyatt, and how a team with expectations wasn't quite meeting them. I asked you then what the atmosphere was like in the locker room, and you said after that loss it was down. What do you think is happening in that locker room on a day-to-day basis, and how do you think these kids are going to respond?
I think they're going to continue to fight. They're far from being an accomplished product. Everybody sees that. They have some holes. They don't have a lot of depth. They don't have a lot of size in the front court. They're going to battle that all year long, especially if they're going to continue to play without Elias Rapiak for a while and possibly Moby Ike Garuka too. Not making excuses, just being honest about it. But I do think Coach has said this all along, and the staff, I think, believes it too, that this is a good group of guys. They're trying hard. They're giving you what they can. It's just what they can is a little bit short right now, and that's I think the frustration for them, because they are trying hard, but you're not seeing results, and that is the hardest thing in sports, no question about that.
You got Utah coming in tonight. Tell us about the Utes and what you're expecting.
Well, you know what? Every time we talk about a Big 12 team, I seem to say they're pretty good. And that's the case with this group, especially being 9-9 and 1-4 in league play. I'll give you an example. Terrence Brown and Don McHenry are one of the best scoring duos guards in all of college basketball. Terrence Brown is third in the league in scoring at 21.6, and Don McHenry is eighth in the league in scoring at 18.2. That's almost 40 points just between those two guys. And then they've got a 12.5.9 rebound guy in forward Keanu Dawes, who's really playing well right now. He's been quite good, had a 10-point, 14 rebound, 3 assist game on Saturday when they beat TCU. They have had some injuries. They are playing a couple of freshmen off the bench, and Kendall Sanders and Obamate Abbey. Like K-State, I don't think they have a lot on the inside. So if you like guard-heavy games, tonight's game at Bramlage is probably going to be for you.
And the next game that you'll have before we talk again, Wyatt, it's the big one, the 19th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks coming into Manhattan. This is a series that has been a little bit more even in the past couple of years, but this Kansas team when they're fully healthy, they're as good as any in the country, I think.
Well, they're starting to figure it out. You said that well. They are never, at a loss for talent. Peterson is what Coach Tang would describe as a generational talent. That means he's very rare, and he is very rare. He scores at all 3 levels. He appears to do it very easily. That's when you can tell how good a player is they make the game look easy, and Darren Peterson does that. I really think Badunga has improved this season as much as most guys in the league. But then some of those other guys, too, are starting to be more consistent and better, whether it's Bryson Tiller, Trey White, Melvin Council. He didn't do a lot the other day, but, boy, he's been good at times this year. They don't have the world's best bench, but McDowell and Elmarco Jackson have given them some. But, again, they're playing 7-8 guys for the most part. But you look at it, and they're giving up only 67.5 points a game defensively. If they play offensively like they're capable of, they're going to win a lot of games. There's no doubt about that.
Let's talk a little rivalry history. We did the same thing with football when it came around, and everybody knows the streak that K-State has over Kansas in that sport. What are some of your favorite memories of K-State taking on KU on the hardwood?
Well, there have been several. Even though KU has been pretty dominant in my time here, we were talking off air. Bill Self's 39-9 all time against K-State, but I can remember some games that were as fun as any that I've had in a near 50-year broadcast career. I remember when Michael Beasley came in here as a freshman and K-State beat them at Bramlage Coliseum, and he just was a sensational player and what have you. And just the energy in the building when that thing was over, and the kids celebrating and standing on the tables at courtside and things like that. And you get a court rush every now and again, but it's different. And I'm just telling you, it's different when it's Kansas because they are so hard to beat, right? And everybody respects, the job that Bill has done there, obviously, and Roy Williams before that. They've had a pretty incredible run there when you think about Roy's, whatever it was, 14 or 15 years, and now 20-plus with Bill. They're really a heck of a program and a blue blood and all of that. So you remember those moments, Jacob Pullen, Michael Beasley. We've had others, when Dean Barry and Cam were here, K-State had a game or two there. So I remember those. You don't have enough, but in terms of beating them, but boy, when you do it, it's a euphoric feeling.
We'll get you out of here on this, and I want the longest answer you can give because it's the last time we'll be able to talk about it for a while, Wyatt. But the college football playoff national championship last night, Indiana defeats Miami. I just want your overall thoughts on that game and what you saw.
Well, I thought the game was exceptionally entertaining, and that's good for college football, right? That's what you want. You want a game that's decided in the last couple of 2 or 3 minutes. It's special, in all honesty, looking at a 16-0 run for Indiana. We're not talking Ohio State here or some of the, the programs in the country that have been pretty dominant. This is Indiana, who up until the last couple of years has been a basketball school, right? But I think it shows you that with this day and age of college football and college athletics, all things are possible. And I'm not taking anything away from what Cignetti did. What he has done is a remarkable story, one of the best of the year, if not for a couple of decades. It's crazy what they've been over the last 2 years. Remember, they were 11-2 last year, Bud. That's crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
You go 11-2 and then 16-0 back to back. That's wild. I love their team. They're so well coached. They could play for another 30 years and not have a quarterback better than that guy.
Oh my goodness!
Don't you think? I mean, Mendoza's such a competitive kid and such a neat kid. So there are a lot of great stories there. But for me, it's the consistency in which they play in all three phases. One of the big plays in the game last night was a block punt, and you just had a feel that they had a chance to do it. There's so many up things about them and how they just play so hard. Physicality is a big deal. And I think it gives, a lot of teams in the country the thought that, hey, why not us? If Indiana can do it, why not? And I'm in total agreement with that.
I'm so in love with the pairing of Curt Cignetti, the man who never smiles, and it's kind of become his bit that he never smiles, coupled with Fernando Mendoza, the kid who never stops smiling. What those two have done and kind of the story of those two, and like I mentioned, like I called it, the marriage of those two, I mean, it goes to show, because, again, Fernando Mendoza said it after the game last night, he was denied an opportunity to walk on at Miami. He grew up going to Miami's games, and Curt Cignetti just kind of plucked him out of Cal. And I mean, it's historic, right? And it's in such a way that we've never seen in this sport before.
Yeah, that's pretty well said. And the kid is just a remarkable young man. I mean, he's obviously a terrific Christian young man, and I love how he always puts it back on his teammates and that we play for each other. That's, winning football games is really hard. And when you got that many guys on the same page working like they did and with the physicality and toughness, I mean, you want to talk about taking on all comers. Remember when they won at Oregon? I don't know that they're ever going to get the run out of that they should have. You just don't go to Oregon and win. And then what they did in the playoffs, too, it's just a incredible story. And I laughed at Cignetti last night saying he'd like to retire as a national champion, but I need the money. This is where I'll remind everybody he made $14 million this year. I think he loves what he does. Whether he smiles or not, the guy's darn good, and I appreciate it for that.
I think my favorite thing in sports, Wyatt, is when you're watching something, you're watching it live, and you see a moment that you go, okay, I'm going to remember this forever. And I think we had one of those last night with the QB draw on 4th and 4 from Fernando Mendoza, where he has to change direction, gets the first down, spins out of contact, has the first down, and then lunges towards the end zone, goes vertical, takes a shot in the back, holds on to the ball and scores, and what winds up being the winning touchdown. Just an awesome moment for him. And moments like that are my absolute favorite.
I agree with you 1,000%. I told my friend Jim Davis in an interview in Grand Junction, Colorado, about the same thing this morning, in that I thought it was indicative of what Indiana has been all year long. That play initially was exceptionally well blocked, right? They got a defensive look that they were expecting. They blocked it pretty well. Cignetti talked about that afterwards. But that last 5 or 6 yards, that was absolutely right on the money of Indiana football in 2025, in that he gave his all to get there and took a monster shot in the back and bounced right back up. I thought that was I mean, that was so typical of what Indiana football was this year. And I enjoyed watching them, man. I admit it, I'm a junkie, but I watch a lot of football and basketball games, and I've enjoyed watching them as much as anybody that I've seen in the last handful of years, easily.
I will admit that this last question is just an excuse for me to say that I saw the Kick Six live. But Wyatt, what's your favorite? What's your favorite sports play that you've ever seen live in person, and you went in the moment, I'm never going to forget that?
Well, that's a really good question, because I don't want to evade it in any way, and people will think I'm just fake saying this, but I'm with you on that play. But there's reasons for that. I was very good friends with the play-by-play guy at Auburn at the time, who tragically was lost not too long after that. And I told him in Winston-Salem that it was one of the greatest calls I've ever heard a radio broadcaster throw out there on the air. I'm sure you have heard it a multitude of times.
Anybody who watches this show, you know, we have the video feed. There is a portrait behind me of it's kind of superset onto a microphone, and it has Rod Bramblett's call of the Kick Six on it, and that hangs behind me during every show.
Well, I presented, this isn't about me, I'm talking about him now. I loved him. I didn't know him that well until we had a chance to present together at the NMSA, which is the National Convention in North Carolina, and just the type of person he was, and the humbleness of how he carried himself. I told him, I said, dude, that's one of the greatest calls of all time. And of course he downplayed it and what have you. And then, but those kind of, there are several others I could probably think about over time, but I think that's a great choice, because it's so, there are times where you see something that you're not going to see, very often in your lifetime, right? I equate it this way. In 2003, when we played Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game and beat them, they were calling Oklahoma potentially the greatest college football team of all time, and K-State smoked them.
Right.
You think I'm ever going to forget that? No chance.
Wyatt, thank you so much for the time. What time do you go on air tonight?
We go on the air at 7 o'clock straight up, and we'll tip at 8:05, K-State and Utah. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Wyatt, thanks so much for the time. Looking forward to it next week.
You betcha. Thanks, bud.
Yeah, that is Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, joining us here on Sports Day. That last segment I didn't expect to kind of hit me the way it did listening to it. Just because after the show, Wyatt and I, spoke for a couple more minutes, and we spoke about, he mentioned Rod Bramblett, who was the play-by-play voice at Auburn, who was a very good friend of his before Rod's passing. And I was right. I mentioned in the story, anybody looking on the video feed here can see that this painting over here, that's Rod Bramblett's call of the Kick Six, which, again, I was at that game. I saw it in person. I stormed the field after, and Rod Bramblett's call of that moment was a big reason that I'm in the position I am in today, in the field that I'm in today. And so, always tugs at my heartstrings a little bit to remember Rod, even though I never met him, a man who had such a profound impact on my life and the life of so many others, even outside of Auburn, Alabama. Sports Day today is brought to you by Equity Bank. They're when you need them. Bank local, save big. With in-person banking and business banking, visit equitybank.com for more information. Equity Bank in Great Bend, Hoisington, and in Larned. Also by C&E Doors, your full-service garage door company. Follow the orange signs south of 10th and Harrison. We got to take our final break of the show. We'll tell you about what's coming up tonight on our airwaves on the other side. You're listening to Sports Day live from the Mayo Money Management Studio here on 1590 KVGB at 95.5 FM. Hey, Cougar fans, this is Brant Daughtry, voice of the Barton Cougars. Cheering from the stands is great, but you can give our athletes a true competitive advantage by joining the Cougar Booster Club. Boosters provide the best equipment and facility upgrades, helping Barton athletes succeed at the regional and national level. Whether you're a business or an individual, your support matters. Call 620-792-9377 and become a Cougar Booster today. Go Cougars!
Community bankers should actually know your community. Hi, I'm Sean Powelson, president of your local Equity Bank. As someone who lives here, I know many of you, and I know what's important to you. I've been in the industry a long time and I've helped many navigate through financial challenges and lead them to financial opportunities. I believe that people bank with people, so I'd like to invite you to stop by one of our region's 5 locations and meet our friendly, helpful staff. Let us show you our commitment to serving you and our communities. Because at Equity Bank, we're right here beside you. Member FDIC.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec.
Sports, leisure, fitness, and wellness, even senior and adaptive needs. It's all here at the Great Bend Rec. Pick up a program guide or stop by the rec office at 1214 Stone in Great Bend or check out the all-new website, greatbendrec.com. Live, play, explore at the rec.
It's all here at Great Bend Rec. Live, play, explore at the rec.
Central and Western Kansas residents, are you looking for a new vehicle? Marmy Auto Group can make it happen. Marmy Auto Group includes Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep and Ram, Chevrolet, and GMC. Marmy Auto Group, your Central and Western Kansas dealer, has new and pre-owned vehicles, or we can special order your vehicle today. If your existing vehicle needs serviced, Marmy's award-winning service department can help. Come to Marmy Auto Group on 10th or marmys.net. Marmys, make it happen.
Sutherland's is your complete home improvement and hardware store. Tens of thousands of products are in stock at everyday low prices. Sutherland's also offers custom buildings, including post-frame barns, garages, and deck packages too. The friendly and knowledgeable staff at Sutherland's, always ready to help you with any project. From hardware, lumber, cabinets, plywood, and OSB, fencing, power tools, furniture, and more. They simply sell for less. Sutherland's, West 10th, Great Bend, helping America build it better since 1917.
Hey, high school juniors. This is Barton Community College President Marcus Garstecki. Want to see what your future looks like? Join us for Junior Day on Friday, February 13th at Barton, and let us show you. It's full of fun, food, giveaways, and campus tours. Plus, $3,000 in scholarships up for grabs. Explore career paths in nursing, business, welding, ag, or any other field. Barton has a path for you. Sign up at juniorday.bartoncccc.edu.
NBA Thursday on ESPN Radio.
Circles in, goes out, has him on skates, to the rim, he scores! What a move by Steph Curry!
Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors are on to Dallas to face Cooper Flag and the Mavericks.
Flag launches and drains it.
The Warriors at the Mavericks.
The Golden State Warriors take on the Dallas Mavericks Thursday with coverage starting at 6 p.m. right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Welcome back. Final couple of minutes of Sports Day here on this Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. We've got NBA action for you. Warriors taking on the Mavericks in Dallas on Thursday. Is this music loud? All right. Want to let everybody know that we've got some high school basketball action on our airwaves tonight. We will have the Winter Jam tournament for over in Hoisington. Lacrosse and Ellsworth on the girls' side lead us off. That game tips at 3:30. Immediately following that, we only have 2 games today, both on the boys' side, as only 7 teams could make it on the girls' end. Reno County homeschool versus Hoisington will happen at 6:30. Well, actually, they'll be the nightcap. Lacrosse versus Ellsworth girls will be followed by Lacrosse versus Ellsworth boys. And then that will end with the nightcap, Reno County homeschool versus Hoisington. We will not be broadcasting these games, but Larned is up in St. John at the Midwinter Classic, and that will be back in action here tonight. At 3:30, Little River tips off against Nickerson on the girls' side. Central Plains boys will follow against Nickerson. Central Plains girls will go immediately after against St. John. And then the nightcap, St. John's boys will take on Maxville. And so that is what's coming your way on high school basketball across the area. Want to let everybody know, Sports Day is brought to you in part by the Great Bend Rec, providing quality leisure, cultural, sports, fitness, and educational programs to improve the quality of the community as well as the individual lives of their community members. And lastly, in part, by Freedom Claims Management. Let the experienced and dedicated staff at Freedom Claims Management, Inc. customize a health insurance plan that fits your business's needs. Hold on. Oh, thank you, Landon. I probably should have turned the mic off for that. I went away from the mic. That came out of nowhere. That was an incredibly violent sneeze. I want to let everybody know that Hoisington, on the girls' side, we know some of the next part of the brackets. On the girls' side, Hoisington will play. Hold on, I'm looking. Where is it? Hoisington does get a first-round bye, which means they'll play on Friday. They will play the winner of Ellsworth and La Crosse, which again is the first game today over in the Winter Jam tournament. That tips off at 3:30, so about 2 hours from now that'll get underway. Want to let everybody know that tomorrow's going to be a great one. It's going to be a pre-recorded show. I'll be on the road to Dodge City with Barton Community College basketball, but we already have this stuff recorded, and we'll get it out to you at the usual time that you're ready for it. Jared Smith, head coach of Larned girls basketball, joins me. We talk about the start to their season, 9-3, off to a great start. After that, the newest members of the Barton Community College Sports Hall of Fame join me at halftime of the games on Saturday. We'll play those interviews for you. That's Erica Harper Robinson, softball player, Dr. Inez Turner, track and field athlete, and Coach Lauren Miller, who coached basketball as well as softball for a time for Barton Community College. Little short interviews with those three. You'll get to hear that on tomorrow's program. That's coming your way at 12:30. Big thanks to Jade Winter, Catherine Mazouk, and, I don't have the piece of paper in front of me anymore. Oh, gosh, I'm so sorry. Alex Mayers for joining me on today's show. Also, big thanks to Wyatt Thompson, the voice of the Kansas State Wildcats, for joining me. We'll do it all again, same time, same place tomorrow, 12:30. It's Sports Day right here on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.